Welcome to Hot 97 News, a brand new live news show where we talk about all the biggest stories happening around the country. I'm your host, Lana Harris, here with Ronndell with 2 N's and Million.
Hey.
And we got a lot going on. Of course, as usual, another day in America. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, we can see your comments. So we hope that you kind of pop in, let us know. Yup, super duper see. Another live edition of Hot 97 News. So yeah, feel free to hop in and let us know what you're thinking about these stories. We'll try to read them off as we go along. To start the show off, Trump officially has his board of peace. You know, I didn't know he could pull it off. Not gonna lie.
Why are we still doubting Trump in 2026?
I mean, after what y'all told me yesterday, I didn't think it was possible either. So
at this point, you know what? I'm starting to believe he really can do.
This man is Superman, bro. I don't know. He gets it done.
Does whatever he wants these days. So they did sign the founding charter in Davos, where they are in Switzerland, and they said that the group is going to work with the United Nations because they were saying, you know, of course, at first that this was trying to replace the United Nations. They're saying they're going to work with them. I also just don't think they have a choice based on who signed up.
That's real. I mean,
You know what I mean?
he really got like mid countries. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, they're kind of mid. They ain't really like the big dogs or anything like that.
They're not like the heavyweight countries that have signed on to this.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got Bulgaria, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Mongolia, kind of smaller countries like that who signed on. But then there are also countries that are heavyweight in that region, in their region. So that would be like countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, Turkey, Egypt, Qatar. But as far as the major world players, people who we're always talking about, we're talking about big world matters like the UK, France, Germany, Italy, the EU, the European Union, China, India, Russia. Those are either a no or a question mark.
Yeah.
So
I kind of figured the United Kingdom wasn't. They don't like us at all. Every British friend I have, they always like, "Oh, you Americans are so crazy. You're never going to. I hate America." And that's a horrible accent, but
I was gonna say you just wanted to pull that accent
yeah,
out again.
I did. I did.
I didn't know that though.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
The British people hate Americans.
Interesting. Well, I also thought it was interesting that Russia is still floating around this whole effort. Yesterday, Trump said that Russia accepted. From what I've seen today, that's like not a thing. From what I've seen, they're still kind of weighing whether or not they want to do it. In fact, apparently, Putin reportedly floated the idea of using frozen Russian assets from here in the United States to pay the $1 billion price of that permanent membership. Remember, 3 years is free, but if you want to be a permanent member of this board of peace, you got to pay $1 billion cash. And yeah, Russia's like, you know, we got a lot of money frozen over there. Why don't you use that? Then we'll be part of it. It's really funny. I don't know if they're serious about that, but you know, we'll see what happens.
We'll have to see. Ukraine, he also I seen somewhere where he was like had a meeting with Ukraine also, and nothing even came out of Ukraine still too. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. How can two countries at war be on the same board of peace?
Yeah,
right.
I don't see how they're going to pull some of this stuff off, but we will see what's going to happen with that. We do now know that Trump is calling off the tariff threats because he says there is now a framework of a future deal that has been reached on Greenland. And this was his post about it. You were just like...
No, I'm just saying, give the man some credit, right? Just give the man some credit, bro.
He said he's doing his work.
He's a businessman. When he says he's going to get it done, he's going to get it done. I've never seen a president, like, actually do this. Whether it's good, whether it's bad stuff he's doing, he's getting it done.
That's fair. That's fair. It's fair.
I give him that.
If this ends up being whatever, you know, we think it's going to be. And that's why I also feel like this is also kind of a question mark because nobody really knows what framework of a future deal means. You know, is this a win or is this just him choosing diplomacy because that's what people wanted to begin with? He already said we're not going to do it by force. He walked back the tariffs. He was there in Davos around them for one day and then walked back the tariffs. So did he win or did someone just finally convince him like we can work this out? You don't need to do this. Because Greenland's been saying from the beginning, and Denmark's been saying from the beginning, why do you need to have Greenland when we're willing to do whatever you want to do anyway? We're your ally. So yeah, they took the threats of the 10% tariffs off. That was supposed to start February 1st. And Trump was actually talking to a Fox News host about this morning, getting a little bit more insight on what was going to happen here. And he was basically saying that this is still crucial to have Greenland because, and I quote, everything comes over Greenland. If the bad guys start shooting, it comes over Greenland. I now just question, who are the bad guys?
Yeah. I was just about to ask. I literally was just about to ask that question. Who are the bad guys?
Who are the bad guys when both Russia and China have been invited to be on the board of peace? Who are we protecting ourselves from? Hello? Am I losing my mind here?
Is that not him trying to choose diplomacy though? Even though I know we've been competing throughout the years, I'm gonna still invite you to be on my board. It's either diplomacy or it's what it is. He is trying to become a king. One of the two. One of the two. Because I don't know, man. I don't know. People have deemed this man as so stupid, and it's like he just keeps surprising me every day with some smart stuff.
I don't think Trump is stupid. I think he's bold. You know what I mean? I think he does some things that are legally questionable. But again, why do we need Greenland so badly if we can choose diplomacy and put Russia and China on the board of peace?
Yeah.
Can't y'all just talk about it in the board of peace meetings? Trump's apparently going to be there forever. You know what I mean? Because even after he leaves the presidency, he's written it to where he's still the head of the board of peace.
So crazy.
Literally, no matter what, it's just like a private U.S. citizen. At that point, you're just like over all these countries. Nobody thinks that's weird, but okay.
That's so crazy.
I do think it's interesting that nobody's asking Greenland about what's going to happen to Greenland. Nobody cares at all what those people think.
Yeah, has anybody been over there and actually talked to them yet and been like, hey, this is all going on, right? Y'all don't have no say-so? Y'all don't want to chime in and be like, hey, I haven't seen a tweet. I haven't seen an Instagram post. I haven't seen a TikTok. I haven't seen nothing from anybody over in Greenland. I need to look that up today and see what the Greenland people think, because I haven't seen just the regular everyday people over there.
So remember, we were actually kind of talking about the fact that they were floating, giving them some money to get on board with the U.S. having Greenland, transferring it, because right now Greenland is a territory of Denmark, and the U.S. just kind of wants it. So remember, we were saying that they were floating somewhere between $10,000 to $100,000 per resident to join Greenland. Would you want to join another country if they offered you $100,000?
$100,000?
$100,000.
I don't know, man. It depends on what country. Greenland, we're just talking about Greenland, joining Greenland?
Greenland, if you were in Greenland right now, would you want to join the U.S.?
All right, so look, I actually looked up things to do in Greenland, and there's not a lot. So I'm not gonna hold you. Probably not gonna take that money.
You get 100. That what? It's not a lot of money.
I'm probably not gonna take the money.
Because you're saying, like, in Greenland, what am I gonna do with it?
What am I gonna do with
I see what you're
$100,000?
saying.
But you now have access to the United States also. So you might be able to fly in between the states. 100,000, you could get somewhere with that.
Yeah, I'm not thinking like that though, brother.
Hey, I'm just saying. They're saying that they're gonna join the country. That's a 50 second? That's a 51st state. Would I take it?
Would you take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the benefits. Like you said, there ain't much to do in Greenland.
Nothing.
Nobody hears about it. There's like only 500,000 people on that big old island. There's only so much you could do.
I thought it was like 56,000 people. I thought there was like a very small.
Right, maybe even smaller, yeah.
You know what? Now that you make a good point, there's not a lot of people. You take that 100,000, you go open up a club. I guarantee that thing jumping. You gonna have that thing jumping. You make a good point.
Yeah.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another point to add to the question. There's a former Greenland lawmaker who is saying that 100K a person wouldn't even be worth it because they already get free healthcare and free education.
Dang.
Yeah.
You want to join America and have to pay for both?
Ooh, now you hit a point there.
That sucks.
To your point earlier, though, there were some Greenlanders that were protesting that were saying things like Greenland is not for sale and picket signs and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're out there. Okay. But it's such a small group of people.
We don't hear it.
You ain't going to hear much about it.
We ain't hear too much noise,
You ain't
man.
going to hear much about it, man. It's unfortunate.
Not only that, though, because I also saw some protesting and they were saying, like, make America go away there and in Denmark, where they're like, they're both just all, against this. Not all against this, but, they're just coming out of the woodwork, people who are against this.
So
With
it's
the
true
red
that they
hats.
actually was wearing like MAGA hats, but it actually standing for Make America Go Away.
Yeah.
MAGA.
That's good.
Crazy.
Yeah. Gotcha there.
That's good.
But that same former Greenland lawmaker who was talking about that was basically pointing out how indigenous people were treated in Alaska and in U.S. history when they became a part of the United States. And they were saying, like, we're not going to sell ourselves because, you guys didn't treat them well when they became part of the United States. So why would we think you guys were going to care about us when we or if we become part of the United States? So, yeah, they say they feel like, well, at least there's one lady who was talking, says that she feels like it would be way more worth it to them to have control of their land and their resources than having $100,000, which can just, go away and, however long it takes you to blow through 100K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you ain't lying though, because Alaska's murder rate is high, extremely high right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's one of the highest around the country with 8.5 per 100,000 people.
Alaska?
High poverty, worse health outcomes.
Bro, they got hoods in Alaska.
Ain't no hoods
They
in
have
Alaska.
hoods in Alaska.
Ain't
I
no
swear to
hoods in
God, they
Alaska,
have
dog.
hoods in Alaska right now.
It's too cold to be it's too cold to murder somebody.
Right.
I wouldn't even shoot nobody. It's too cold. What you talking? There's no way. I have to look this up.
That's what happens when America comes and takes over, I guess. Dang.
Hoods in Alaska is crazy.
So people in Greenland are looking at that and thinking, they don't look like they're just thriving over there. So why would we want a little piece of that? So I don't know. That's still up in the air. And again, Trump is saying that there may be a way to just talk about this. He says the details are still being worked out, but he's going to get Greenland for ever, apparently. Like whatever the situation ends up getting worked out, ends up as, he says we're getting total access to Greenland with no end and no time limit.
That's
wow.
Yeah.
crazy.
So, we'll see what happens. We're also waiting to see what happens with Iran, because that is still kind of floating around the news sphere right now. That is the Ayatollah in Iran, and Trump has been pushing for regime change in Iran, and Iran's leadership has been pushing back. So Trump said that this guy needs to go. He has been saying that he has been reigning for almost 40 years at this point, and it's time for him to get up out of there, especially because of these deadly crackdowns on protests that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. He just feels like, your time has come to an end. So that is something that some Iranians, especially here in America, would love to see. Some people say that they left this country because of this regime, or their parents left this country because of this regime, and that, the rules and the laws and the regulations over there are pretty oppressive. I don't know what people in Iran actually feel, because we never see people in Iran in our news coverage here in America. Like, I don't know how they feel about the guy. And I don't know how life actually is living there. But I will say that one general was quoted as saying, and we can pull this up for you, Trump knows that if any hand of aggression is extended toward our leader, we not only cut that hand off, we not only cut that hand, not off, but also we will set fire to their world. So still very, strong words there.
A lot of bold talk for people that just got bombed by us last year. I'm just saying.
I hear you.
I'm just saying.
It's not a bad point.
A lot of bold talk I'm hearing from you right now, but you ain't about that life for real. I'm just saying.
The only question I have, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately with like all this stuff going on with Iran, and there's gotta be some like place in Iran where people are just living normally. I don't know, but I put it like this: every country goes through something, but there is like some part of that country that is just none of this is affecting them. Like it's not really bothering them like that. Like the upper echelons people in America, they're not really bothered by really what's going on with government and stuff like that. They're not. It doesn't faze them. So there has to be some people in these countries that are just like, yeah, so what? You know what I mean?
I think that's a really good point, especially because when you go down a rabbit hole of what life is like for people in Iran, I think that it depends on who you ask of like whether or not it really requires a foreign country coming in and saving the day.
Yeah.
Because for some of them, I think women have different like career path outlooks that are not as free as we have it here in America, but women are allowed to work. I think what some of the main differences are really in how women are treated there. And obviously you have to go with, your hair covered. In some cases, I've seen some videos where people are walking around without it. So I don't know if the rules are super lax or just what it's like over there. I do know that there was one crazy, splashy case that made a lot of headlines around the world because there was a woman who was killed reportedly because she didn't have her hijab on, enough. So the scale is all over the place of like, I've seen people not wearing it, but technically you could get in a lot of trouble for not obeying like the morality police or whatever they have over there. But if that's normal for them, I don't know if that's like my business to say America should come save you. Do you all want to be saved? I've talked to Iranians here who say yes, anybody should go and just save them.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
yes, there are Iranians here in America who say, like, again, my family fled this regime.
Yeah.
But then there are people living there day to day. It's not like as oppressive as you would think.
That's what I'm trying to. That's the only question I have. Is
Yeah.
Like how chaotic, how oppressive, how much is it? You know what I mean?
You could argue that America is oppressive. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Because there are rich people, there are middle class people, and there are people who are struggling and can barely afford to eat. I'm sure in Iran there's a uber rich class, there's a middle class of people, and there are people who can barely afford to eat. So
100%.
I don't know. I don't know literally how bad it really is because I've never been there myself.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only question I had.
From what I've gathered is that they do have a middle class.
Yeah.
You know, it's although it may has shrunken recently, but they do have a middle class. Then they also have a high class and a low class, basically like anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's one of those things where you see throughout history where regimes treat the poor people the worst. The poor people rebel, and because they're poor, that's where we start hearing about the multiple different deaths because they don't care about the lives there. This is all allegations because again, journalists out there in Iran is small right now. I know American journalism is pretty small out there. So I don't necessarily know what their whole entire scene is right now, but that's what I've gathered so far.
Because they have state-run TV for
Right.
their news. So, like, they're, it's like they just are in charge of it all. So
Yeah.
that's why when you get some of these numbers, it's like,
They can tell you whatever they want to tell you.
Right,
Wow.
exactly.
Okay.
So they control the narrative and whatnot. So, who knows what that's like living? I've seen articles where some of the rich elite's kids are, at nightclubs in Turkey. And, it's like, that sounds like the rich kids here.
Yeah.
And it's like they get to pop off. We've talked about how all these rich people get tax breaks here. And there's what some people would consider corruption here. Is it just happening there too? I don't know.
Yeah, we just
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the situation is. But yeah, Iran did just offer the first government-issued death toll from those protests. And they say that it's around 3,117 total deaths. And that's important, A, because of who's saying it. Again, this is government numbers. It's significantly lower than like the 12,000 numbers that we were hearing. I mean, crazy numbers that were pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think to hear of like one incident, 12,000 people, you're talking dang near a genocide, not really, but like that's the level of it. So 3,000 roughly, but that is still a lot. And technically they're over, but the U.S. is still kind of threatening to go after them because of it. And some U.S. lawmakers have said, hey, Trump, we told these protesters that we were going to back them, we were going to be behind them, so we have to go now and do what we said we were going to do. Other people are saying, like, hey, why is the West involved in our internal protests over here? Iran straight up accused them of being part of it, that U.S. and Israel were a part of all the mayhem and the chaos. Didn't have any evidence for that, but that's what he said. Iran's been accused of basically doing that to their protesters, killing them, and that's how Trump is getting involved. We still have a fleet headed in that direction of like aircraft carriers and whatnot. So I don't know what they're about to do.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I believe that government though.
I'm sorry, can I?
Go ahead.
Carrier strike group, not aircraft carriers.
Got you.
They're moving naval and air assets. A carrier strike group, possibly the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group.
Got you.
So I just want to make sure that was, I didn't say the wrong thing.
I don't necessarily know if I trust that government though.
Yeah.
Because again, there's multiple different reports. Mind you, we reported last week that there were some reports from multiple different sources saying that the numbers were in the 12,000 area. So like you were saying, that's a genocide. But for the government to even come out and just say, well, since December, it's not that bad. It's really just 3,000. Like 3,000 is still a lot since December. What are we talking about
it's
here?
a lot of people.
This is you're just showing your true colors, Iran, and it's really starting to show.
How many people were killed in 9/11?
That's a good question.
It's kind of around
3,000?
that number, I want to say.
3,000
That's what I thought. Yeah. So this would kind of be a 9/11
situation
type event for them
Yeah.
based on the scale of death. That's really a lot. So again, Iran was accused of killing their protesters and basically being behind the death. Iran accused the U.S. and Israel of basically starting all that killing so that Trump would get involved because Trump said, if you guys kill people, we'll get involved. That was the accusation.
Yeah, so 9/11. This is what they're saying. It's 2,977 people that passed away.
Right. So around,
Yes, but that's not our government that did it. unless you listen to the conspiracy theories. It's not our government that did it. For the government to say, yeah, this is officials that's dying and protesters that's dying, that's still kind of fishy to me.
Yeah. So, we'll see what comes out of there. We do have our eye on it. But we want to kind of look at some news here at home because a whistleblower leaked an ICE memo saying that they can enter homes with no warrant.
Crazy.
Obviously, this has some Fourth Amendment concerns and people are a little weirded out that this kind of thing might have been going around. So the claim is that there was an internal ICE memo that, said that officers can forcibly enter homes without a judge's warrant and basically just rely solely on an administrative immigration warrant. And the difference is that that's something that would just come from an ICE or a DHS official. So we're saying that we can go into that house with no warrant versus having to present to a judge like, hey, this is what's going on and this is why we need to go in there. So that's why this is a little strange. Also, because these whistleblowers are alleging that this memo wasn't just distributed through ICE, that it was only shown to select officials, and then those select officials basically got to see it under supervision, and they weren't allowed to take notes, and then they just disseminated it to other people. So that it seems like, according to these whistleblowers, they were doing this in a real hush-hush way.
I mean, of course they would. Why would they let people know that, hey, we can knock on your door and kick down your door without giving you paperwork to let us know we coming in? That's crazy, bro. It's absolutely nuts. Do y'all not see that this is like how insane this is getting? Do y'all not see how insane this is getting? I hope that this show reaches somebody somewhere to be like, yo, this is outrageous. This is outrageous, bro. What is going on is absolutely insane.
It's gone too far.
Gone
it's
way
gone
too
a
far.
little too far. We can actually show you a picture of this kind of happening to someone who is actually a U.S. citizen. That man, they drug out in the snow in his shorts and no shirt. That's a blanket on over him. He's a U.S. citizen. They were looking for somebody else. And this is somebody who has been in the country, a 56-year-old man who's been in the country for years. DHS officials say that they were actually looking for what they say were 2 convicted sex offenders at that address, and that the U.S. citizen who was living there, him, refused to be fingerprinted or facially identified, so they just detained him. The family says that account is just wrong, and they're objecting to DHS's attempt to publicly justify this conduct with false and misleading claims. So maybe they're pushing back on there's no sex offender that lives here. Why are you saying that? Just to justify this. Because if you're a U.S. citizen and you're just sitting at home and ICE comes to the door, breaks down the door and says, give me your fingerprint.
You don't have to.
And give me, it's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
What are
you
you
don't have
talking
to.
about? And that's what happened to this guy.
Yeah, bro. You don't have to. Bro. You don't have to give them any identification, at all. Their rights.
The report is that agents forced their way in and pointed guns at the family and just started yelling at them.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. You're not supposed to, you don't have to, but if they got the guns and they're barging in, then you have to. It's unfortunate.
Boy.
But see, that's the thing, though, man. That's the only way. Of course, you're going to get anybody to cooperate if you're pointing a gun at me, bruh. Come on now. This is a scare tactic. Hey, I'm going to point this gun, so I'm going to actually make you give me this. I don't care if you don't want to. Oh, you don't want to? Now you're going to. It's like robbing people, essentially. That's essentially like they robbing people.
It's literally taking their First Amendment protections away, or Fourth Amendment protections away, their constitutional protections away. You know what I mean? And to justify this is to say oh, you want to come for the Second Amendment yet? Next, where does this end when I'm giving you a reason to say this is why I should be able to barge into a U.S. citizen's house and demand they give me their fingerprints and facial recognition, and when they don't, I can drag them out in the snow? A U.S. citizen.
Yeah, bro.
If we're okay with this, say goodbye to the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth. What's to stop them?
Yeah. We ain't going to have no amendments.
You found that they were.
Oh, yeah. This is another incident that happened, and this is something that's super, super crazy. School officials state that on January 13th, federal agents detained preschooler Liam Ramos and his father in the driveway. Agents reportedly removed Liam from the vehicle and directed him to knock on his front door to lure the others outside.
So they had this kid knock on a door to lure people outside.
They're baiting y'all with your own children.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
That's at what point do we look at this and say, this is honestly insane? You can support what ICE is supposed to be doing without supporting. Look at them. He's got the hat.
And here's the wildest part. After he lured them out,
Crazy.
they detained everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody got detained.
Oh my
Like, bruh,
What?
it's nuts, man. It's absolutely crazy that you're sending. Y'all doing this the cheat way. I feel like if y'all are gonna really be ICE agents and do some research, do some actual ICE work, and like go and find out these illegal immigrants and where they stay and this, that, and the third. Don't just start grabbing people. Y'all cheating at this point.
Yeah.
Now y'all cheating to get stuff done. Don't cheat. Do it the right way.
Well, we do have to leave that right there because there's just so much to say. But we will make sure we keep an eye on the comments and continue on this conversation online with you guys. In the meantime, gotta know if Bill and Hillary Clinton are going to jail. Because another major story right now is that the House Oversight Committee voted to hold Bill and Hillary Clinton in contempt of Congress after they refused to comply with the subpoena to give a testimony of what their relationship was with Jeffrey Epstein. So does this mean they're actually going to jail? Yeah, I mean, they could be fined. Anything could happen from here. People say it's not likely, but technically they could.
Technically, based off of technicality, if you're issued a subpoena and you fail to show up, there's like 3 different consequences that you can have, and one of them is going to jail, going to prison. But because they're the Clintons, because they're he's a former president, he probably is gonna skate.
Stand 10 toes down, Bubba. I'm right behind you, Bubba.
Why don't you just because we gotta go. What do you mean by Bubba? What is that in reference to?
Don't we have to leave? Don't we have to run? No, we have to run. We got to go to commercial.
We do, but you should go look up
well, Bubba,
what that means in relation to Bill Clinton. And we have so much more coming at you after the break. Welcome back to Hot 97, everybody. If you are in the comments with us on YouTube, what's up? Make sure you drop some comments and talk with us about the stories we're talking about because we want to hear from you. Super duper C, I do see that you're asking for our zodiac sign, so just so we can, get some interaction going. What's your zodiac sign?
Go ahead, Dale. Tell them what you are, brother.
I'm a Cancer. I don't got no problem telling people I'm a Cancer.
Are you?
For the show.
Interesting.
What do
Interesting.
I hate when people do that. Interesting. What does that even mean?
Yeah, that's okay. I know, and you don't. That's all that matters.
Oh, my God.
I'm a Leo.
Oh, yeah. Now I get it. You see how stupid I am?
That's great.
I'm a million. I don't do zodiacs.
Oh, my
Sorry.
God.
Sorry.
No,
don't do them. Sorry. Super duper C. I rock with you though. Appreciate you for
Boo.
comments.
Yeah, you don't even play. You're not even
All
cool
right.
to play along,
That's
bro.
not, let's make it up at this point.
Yeah, bro. Not even fun.
Okay, so Senator Rand Paul is changing his mind about social media companies being liable for what's posted on their platforms after he got. And that's so annoying to me because what do you mean you're changing your mind just because you now understand what people were concerned about before? Did you not want to go and research what the concerns were? Like you had to personally go through it to be like, oh, yeah, now I get what they've been saying. So basically what happened to him is YouTube and Google refused to take down this video that somebody made of him that he claims falsely alleged he took money from Venezuela's old president, Maduro. He says that he formally notified Google that it was fake, that it was unsupported by the facts, that it defamed him, that it endangered his life, all this kind of stuff. But Google declined to investigate and wouldn't take it down. So they ended up basically going after the user who posted it. And by they, I mean Paul and his camp. Senator Paul basically said, look, man, I will threaten you legally. There's going to be some penalty for this. And the user probably just got scared and took it down. But his whole point was, why are these social media companies not liable for what is being posted on their websites? And the reason why they're allowed to do that is because of something called Section 230. And it literally says that they're not liable for things that are posted on their website. So when you go around, you look at social media and you see all these crazy claims and fake news everywhere and just all this fake stuff, that is possible because of this Section 230.
Yeah, I think it's messed up. I do think that everybody needs to be held accountable for the things they post sometimes. 'Cause some of this stuff is like very, very like either wrong or, I mean, shoot, I even got to watch what I say sometimes because I know people going to be like, hey, brother, like, I'll sue you. So it's like, I get where he's coming from because, I mean, we've had stuff taken down from our page plenty of times, or people have tried to, and we've just been like, no, we're not taking it down.
Yeah.
Or people have been in our DMs and be like, hey, can you take this down, and they had to go through an entire process on Instagram to get our page. That post taken down. So, I mean, hey, if you put it up, it's out there.
See, wait, so you're saying you think that the social media companies should be held liable?
Oh, no.
Or they should not?
I don't think they should. I mean,
Okay.
they opened it's a platform to post things.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's used for, is to post things. Now you're just like, you're trying to marginalize what I post. Don't if that's the case, man, I don't think you should do that.
Now, I agree, because honestly, it's a lot of people on these platforms. It's almost impossible to actually see what every single person is posting. But at the same time, big platforms like this, you get a lot of money. You need to have whatever is necessary to stop people from spreading misinformation, because that's the biggest thing right now in our generation.
Facts.
I don't know if I've never trusted the media as much as I have, like, since actually, like, growing up. Like, once I hit 20, I realized, okay, dang, I cannot trust the media whatsoever. But, like, back in the days, I feel like anything that the news was putting out there was okay. But now, with social media and things like that, I just am jaded toward any information. I have to double check, triple check everything. But platforms should be doing that all the time.
Yeah, so the whole legal shield that they got was designed to help the internet grow, make it so that people could just flood the internet with whatever they wanted without these companies having to worry about, oh my God, am I going to get sued? Do I have to take all this stuff down? Blah, 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 blah. But like, I would argue that these social media companies do take your stuff down. You know what I mean? Like, they do take certain posts down that don't align with whatever they choose. I mean, there are people who will know certain topics cannot be discussed on social media without it being taken down. There are a whole just like threads about what happened during the pandemic with people who were trying to give different health advice, just finding their whole account banned because of this stuff. So they are regulating what's on there without having to be liable for what's on there. So why are they taking any post down at all? That means they literally get to pick and choose what type of content is allowed to be on the internet, even though they're not liable for it anyway.
That is the point, because if you're a big creator, 9 times out of 10, all your stuff, that's usually the stuff that they're taking down, is the big creators. If I was a creator with 100 followers, 200 followers, and I started spewing just all kinds of crazy rhetoric, just wild stuff, they're not really going to come at my stuff like that, bro. They're really not going to come at it's only big accounts that they do this to. I've never seen anybody, and I know a few like smaller accounts that spew a lot of hate, and they'll never get their stuff blocked, ever get their stuff taken down, ever.
Yeah.
But as soon as somebody with a platform does it, it's a wrap. And it's like, all right, man, if you're going to do this for this person, you got to do it for everybody.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that,
Yeah.
because I was just thinking about just like the topic. So let's say something ridiculous. I think that the color blue is the best color in the whole wide world. And let's say that applies to any topic that's actually serious, whether it's what happened in Gaza or what's happening with Greenland or just any big topic. But I think blue's the best color in the world. Let's say that that's just not the popular opinion. And now all my videos are getting banned because I've taken this side, and they're allowing videos to say, no, I think pink is the best color in the whole wide world. You know what I mean? So now all the pink videos are allowed to stay up. The blue videos are not allowed to stay up. And who are they to decide what video saying whatever the topic is allowed to be up or not when they're not liable for it anyway?
It's just it's a messed up situation, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, everybody should be able to, put your own perspective out there. But what I've seen is perspectives get dangerous. Perspectives aren't as serious. Like, the sky is blue. I don't think you're going to get, I know it was just an analogy, but it's nothing serious. There's people that are spewing real hate rhetoric out there. And yes, you do deserve to have been taken down. Not only that, I honestly think that, social media, in order for somebody to post on social media, you need to have some sort of license. And I know that's going down in China right now, and I know it's kind of like it's impeding on your First Amendment right in a sense. But the fact that so many people are able to get millions of views and spew some of the most hatred, some of the most misinformed things on the internet is wild to me.
Well, and I agree with just that idea because I've also been thinking that it'd be really cool if they at least stopped private accounts from being able to post comments on public videos, because you can get behind a private account and have an army of private accounts flood a comment section and make it seem like, we all believe this and it's fake people. If you're going to hide behind a private account, then you should be able to just talk to your friends, whoever your friends are. You can't be in the public space commenting on things if you're going to not say who you are, because that means you could be literally fake. You know what I mean? We got to clamp down on this some kind of way. That just makes the most sense to me. And it seems like, if you want to say it with your chest on a public account.
There it goes.
You know what I mean? And if not, you can't harass people with no kind of repercussion for that. It's crazy. And again, who gets to decide at Facebook or X or TikTok or wherever? Who gets to decide what you can and can't say? Because they're literally just deciding what viewpoints you can and can't say just because they want to.
Yeah.
They're not held liable.
Yeah,
It's just because they want to.
TikTok is the worst at that, bro. TikTok is the worst. They won't let you say nothing on that app, dog.
Not anymore. They used to be
it
the
was
freest
free.
one.
It used to be free.
Till,
now,
boy,
you can't say nothing on that
anything.
app, dog. Nothing. I said one cuss word in like congratulating somebody, and they like violation.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
So,
dog.
God, hey,
Yeah,
what?
that's crazy, bro.
I think you need to have some schooling or something before you can start spewing anything on the internet. I'm sorry. You got to have some sort of media training before you can even do something like that.
Here's the thing. That's the point of the internet, is you don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But-
That's why we have the instances where bro is upset right now.
100%.
Senator Rand Paul is
yeah.
upset. Yeah.
You don't need it.
That's the issue though. We need it.
Well, then get rid of the internet. That's
Get
rid of the internet.
Get rid of letting people just say whatever they want on the internet.
That's
get rid
impossible.
of people. Yeah, well, on certain platforms at least, people need to have a license, and in order to get that license, you have to have done you have to show some sort of expertise in that field.
Well, hold on, Lana. To that point, we wouldn't be able to talk what we're talking right now. If that's the case.
What are you talking about? I worked in media before
Me
here.
too, no, a license.
What do you mean?
Like a degree or something along those lines.
Brother, I got a degree.
And this?
Okay, chill.
Exactly.
Chill on me,
So that's what I'm trying to say. You said a license.
Yeah.
Lana would be the
Chill on
only
me.
one to be able to sit right here.
Hey, chill on me. Chill on me.
Well,
That's all I'm saying. With your point, we wouldn't be able to chill up here and talk with Lana. She would be the only one to sit up here and be able to talk how she talk.
Like I said, it needs to be some sort of expertise. You have to show some sort of expertise in the field.
There you go. Now you go. There you go. Switch it from license.
well, there is a crazy allegation that these nonprofits are getting victim donation money and just running with it. And I'm talking about the nonprofits who are supposed to be using the victim donation money to give to the victims of whatever situation required them to be in the need of it. So basically this all started because of what happened in Maine. There was a Lewiston, Maine incident. There was a mass shooting there, in fact. It was an extremely deadly mass shooting incident. It happened in October 2023. And it killed 18 people in a bowling alley. And donations, of course, just started pouring in to help the people who were impacted by this. So what we're seeing here is that there was about $2 million that was raised through the Maine Community Foundation's Lewiston Auburn Area Response Fund. And that money went to nonprofits instead of the victims, despite the fact that donors were told that 100% of the money was going to go to the victims. They usually say like, hey, donate to me. All of our money goes to, the victims. So apparently, these funds were distributed to 29 nonprofits with no direct connection to the shooting or its victims. And 9 of the 29 profits reportedly only serve immigrant communities who were totally unrelated to the attack. And individual nonprofits reportedly got about $65,000 each, even though some of these survivors and their families got way less than that. Their medical bills could have been like $90,000 plus, and they're getting like $32,000. Meanwhile, you got completely unrelated nonprofits getting pieces of this money. that were supposed to go to the victims.
Yeah, y'all gonna learn to stop giving y'all money to these foundations and stuff like that. Did we not learn from? And this is all allegedly BLM. Did we not learn from the BLM movement? Did we not learn? Have we not learned our lesson? Y'all better stop giving y'all money to these folks and not knowing where it's really going. If you really wanted to help out the family, you would have found the families and you would have gave them money directly. You don't need to give your money to no donation center and be like, here, take my money and then go give it to the people. No, because by the time that money leave your pocket, you don't know where them folks doing with your money. So stop giving your money to if you really want to help out whoever's in trouble, go directly to the source, figure out a way to give the money directly to them and get that money to them. You don't need, y'all are going to learn the hard way, bruh. Y'all gonna learn the hard way. Then stuff like this happens. And now you're looking crazy. It's like, all right, I gave $1,000. Like, how much of my $1,000 actually went to the family?
Yeah.
They don't know because they don't tell us. They don't say, hey, Mr. Smith, I want to let you know that we spent $500 went to the nonprofit and $500 went to the families. No, you just give your $1,000 and just expect it to go where it's supposed to go, man. Y'all stop.
Yeah, that's why I like GoFundMe's and stuff like that. Although I haven't used them before, from what I'm seeing, I mean, that money goes straight to them. There's no middleman. There's no higher company aside from GoFundMe that's in charge of distributing those funds. So, yeah, I don't know. It's risky.
You know what? I was actually just sitting here looking up. Do you guys remember that massive earthquake in Haiti?
Yeah.
And there was a huge push to give funding towards Haiti. And there was like $500 million that was raised. And there have been allegations that didn't go anywhere, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody was wondering, like, where did that money go? Because I don't see $500 million worth of aid in Haiti. Right. You know what I mean? I'm seeing... I don't know what I'm seeing. I mean, and you'd have to go down that rabbit hole yourself. Yeah. But it's apparently a lot of the money went into a restricted account, and 91% was spent on Haiti programs. But that's only what the American Red Cross is saying. People have sued to figure out where all it actually went, because there's been a lot of allegations over the years that it didn't go where they thought it was supposed to go.
There's another incident. You got Toms, the shoes Toms. You remember you used to buy Toms, and Toms, their money used to be donated. We don't know where that money went when we bought them Toms. There's so many of these. I think it was not Coney. What was the one? I'm looking. It's not Coney, but it was another one that was really big that went under, that had allegations too. I can't really remember, but. All I'm saying is this: stop giving y'all money to these donation people, bro.
And it's so interesting because these donation companies, organizations, they have CEOs.
Yeah.
They have boards. And you think the CEO ain't making bank?
Bro.
Yeah.
You think the CEO ain't making millions of dollars?
Come on now.
But it's supposed to be a nonprofit. I'm just saying.
Listen, bro, you send me, if I'm the CEO of one of these donations and you send over $50 million, I'm shaving a little bit off the top. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm shaving something off the top to get me a Porsche or, a vacation. I'm shaving something now. Come on now.
I'm looking at one of the organizations right now. I ain't going to say their name, but I'm looking online and it says that the CEO is making about $1.3 million. $1.3 million.
I've wondered that too, to a nonprofit. Like, how?
I thought you ain't making profit. I thought everything was supposed to go to the people.
They're some of the richest people out here, which is crazy.
That's crazy that the definition inside of that is non-profit. It's not supposed to make no money. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not the real definition.
Also, Keys said, I thought I was doing something when I used to feel good buying those Toms.
No, bruh.
AKA ninja sock shoes.
Nah, bruh. Don't.
I don't know anything about that. What is
Toms?
Tom?
Wait, what? Oh, you weren't old enough for Toms.
I was trying to laugh and I was like, yo, that's funny. But then I thought about it. I was
I had
like,
no idea.
What is a
Wait a minute,
Tom?
but Toms?
Tom's shoes.
They're shoes.
They're like this dude made shoes, but you would buy the shoes and part of it would go towards some type of fund.
The proceeds.
But he went out there like nobody knew where those funds went either.
It's crazy. Like, and to your point, like maybe we should start really being like, all right, now who needs the money? And let me go give it to them. Because I'm sick of playing games with y'all.
Yeah.
Just robbing people blind in some cases.
Yeah.
Speaking of robbing people blind, there is a crazy incident where this guy was reportedly selling cars on Facebook Marketplace just to steal it back from the new owners.
This is called the infinite money glitch.
Okay.
This is an infinite money glitch, bro. So look, this guy in I think it was in Kansas. Kansas. Oh, I didn't say where he's from, but I think he was in Kansas. But he was selling a 2013 gray Honda Civic on Facebook Marketplace. And what he would do, and I'm going to break down what he did, he would sell the car. And after he sold the car, he would go back to who he sold it from. The people would buy it to him in cash. He'll keep the cash. He'll go back to where he sold it to him, have a spare key, steal the car back.
Ooh.
Steal the car back. And then he would do it again. He would list it again on Facebook Marketplace and do it again and do it again and do it again. I think he did it 14 times.
Woo. All this is, of course, according to the prosecutors. So
yes. That's everything is alleged at this point. But yeah, 14 times what they allege. The victims lost a combined total of $24,000.
You know what I think is even crazier? That this basically all partly at least came to an end because one of the victims got him in 4K on film, literally stealing the car from her property at 1 o'clock in the morning, being like, wait a minute. And that the guy who just dropped it off 7 hours ago, 7 hours before she saw him.
Great, but it's very intelligent.
Thank you. I was about to say.
So smart.
Rank it from 1 to 10, Dale.
Oh, bro, that's up there.
What's the creativity
that's
level
up there
on that
with
one?
the dude that had all the disguises, bro. Okay. That's up there with him, bro.
Okay.
Bro.
Because mind you, that's an investment. He actually invested his money to buy the spare key, and then Yo, that was genius. I give him that.
Very, very
That's
smart.
creative. Very creative.
Also funny about this, apparently when they arrest the guy, first of all, when the police first showed up, Diallo, the guy's last name, denied everything.
Yeah, he said he didn't do it.
Basically told those investigators, prove it. If he, and when they asked him if he used that online alias, and I thought that was so crazy. Like, if you know what you were doing, and you were like, nah, prove it. And then they arrested him, and then multiple victims identified him. Yeah, that's him. That's who did it.
That is the smartest thing in the world, bruh. And if you gave me the opportunity, I would try it. All right? I would try it. Bruh, that is the greatest thing ever. For you to sell a car, get cash for it, give a fake title, everything look real. I mean, this guy's a mastermind when it comes to being a criminal because he had a title that looked real. He had everything that looked real. Sold it, came back, stole it, put it back on Facebook Marketplace.
This is why they don't give everybody licenses to be on the news. Because they start saying stuff like this, and you like,
wait. I never said go do it. I just said it's smart, all right? I just said that is an extremely genius idea. I've never thought of that before.
I wouldn't have thought about that either. Alto Key says son thought he was playing GTA.
Yeah, straight up, bro.
Talk,
like that is. Hey man, kudos. Not kudos, but you know.
Because I've heard of
not kudos.
Yeah, because I've heard of kudos is crazy.
Kudos is
because
crazy.
He could have been lazy about it and just like went and met up with the person, beat him up, and then took his money and then left with the car. But he was like, nah, I'm gonna let you think you got it. He really did the old fish move, the fisherman move. Mm-hmm. He let you think you had it, and he brought it right back. He reeled it right back in. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
That's a 7 out of 10.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
It's a 9. What would you give it, Lana?
I would again give it a 0 because this is insane. That this is where we come to appreciate crime. This is crazy.
We're not appreciating it. It's more or less we're just admiring the idea and how much of a smart man he is. That's it.
It wasn't lazy. It wasn't lazy.
Was not lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we do need to let you guys know that there is reportedly a deadly fungus spreading. Did you guys watch The Last of Us?
Yes.
Every time I hear anything about, is it on HBO?
One of those. Yeah.
One of them. I don't know. Every time I hear anything about a fungus spreading, I'm like, oh man, it's starting. So in Tennessee, health officials are warning about a potentially deadly fungal infection. It's called histoplasmosis. It's reportedly spreading in the state. 35 plus confirmed cases over a 3-month period. So not that many, but not nothing. Mm-hmm. So they basically presented those health case numbers on January 12th. So I don't know if there's been an update there, if there's been more since, but state officials say that some patients have been hospitalized from this, critically ill from this. And basically how this happens is that you breathe in fungal spores, and it's typically from soil that's contaminated with either bird or bat droppings. Apparently, it doesn't spread from person to person, and so that's, no risk there. But if you were to breathe in fungal spores, maybe you were outside hiking somewhere, could potentially happen to you. Symptoms include fever, cough, extreme fatigue, headache, body aches, chills, and chest pain, usually 3 to 17 days after you're exposed to this. And because those symptoms resemble the cold and flu, people often kind of just like brush it aside and don't do anything about it. And if you have a weakened immune system or just at a higher risk of severe illness because whatever you got going on, that can lead to a long-term lung infection or even like meningitis. So,
and y'all want the rail? Y'all really want that rail from Atlanta to Nashville still? Y'all really want to like have a nice train to go straight to Tennessee? This is what I was telling y'all before. We don't want that. We don't want no train from Tennessee to Georgia.
That is honestly horrifying as someone who just camped across the country. You know, I mean, if you camp or you hike, what do you mean I can step on soil and get histometriosis, mesothelioma?
Yeah, bro.
You
That's crazy.
How many people passed away from this?
How many people died from this?
Or not passed away,
don't
but
think
how many cases was it?
35 plus ish by January 12th. I want to say I'd seen like one or two people.
Ain't nothing topping COVID. COVID was that disease, dog. COVID was that sickness. Nothing can top COVID, bro.
Yeah, COVID was the hottest thing to drop in 2020, son. If you ain't have COVID, where were you, son? You wasn't really in the streets. We really had COVID out here, son.
Bro, real talk, nothing's stopping COVID, bro. I'm not scared of no fungus. Bro, I survived COVID. I could survive this fungus.
You know, but COVID, we don't even get into COVID. But I will say that I think the way this happens is pretty horrifying. So after it's inhaled, again, you don't catch it from somebody else. It's because of environmental exposure. After it's inhaled, the organism deposits in the lungs and rapidly shifts form from mold to yeast at body temperature. And so it survives and causes the disease. And like fungus,
That's gross.
It's
an organism.
Have you seen The Last of Us? We don't learn our lessons, I feel like.
That we don't. that we don't. So is it going to make its way? Are they going to try to contain it in Tennessee?
I don't know what they're going to do.
I was just reading. I'm trying to figure out if they're going to like contain it. Tennessee people, y'all stay where y'all at.
Right.
Like yeah, don't bring your boots. Don't bring your cowboy hats.
Don't walk down here.
Don't walk down here. Don't bring your country music down here.
Because when you talk about prevention guidance, all officials recommend is that you limit activities that disturb soil and consider masks during high-risk outdoor activities. But they're talking about step on soil. What do you mean?
So just don't walk, y'all.
Don't walk outside? What are we talking about here?
Just don't walk.
Sometimes the guidance is like, get out of here. You don't know. Just tell me you don't know how to prevent this from happening and keep it moving.
Everybody figure out how to float. Everybody just figure out how to float from here on out. Don't touch the ground at all.
Crazy. Crazy.
But to get away from it, you could go to the moon.
Look, man, have y'all seen this?
No.
Nah.
Y'all didn't see this?
Oh, I actually, you know what? I did see this a couple days ago, but I didn't read it. I don't know what's going on here.
So for everybody out there, you can spend $1 million and get your room, you can reserve a hotel room on the moon when we go. But you have to put a non-refundable $1,000 down is required to apply for a spot. If selected,
to apply for the spot.
Just apply.
To apply.
Just apply.
Is $1,000 non-refundable.
So
Crazy.
if selected, applicants must place a refundable deposit of $250,000 to $1 million. Total estimated cost, while final pricing isn't set, a single day is expected to exceed $10 million. Now, the question I asked my beautiful host I sit here beside is, would you go?
0% chance am I going. First of all, I think this is a money grab. I want to know who's putting this on, because what do you mean $1,000 non-refundable to apply? When are you going? You know, we don't even know when you can go to the moon. When are you building a hotel on the moon?
Exactly.
How are you building a hotel on the moon? And I'm paying you $1,000 to apply? Boy, you scammers. Y'all got cojones. Y'all got cojones.
No black person has ever been on the moon. Just saying that before we go. No black person has ever been on the moon. I would be the first. I would do it.
You would go.
No black person has ever been on the moon. We got to break those barriers. We got to break those barriers.
No person has been on the moon. Let's go to break.
Yeah, well, stick around. We are going to be right back with a lot of stories coming out of Atlanta.